Good afternoon, everybody. It is meteorologist Iswell Forecast, and welcome back to another video, guys. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful afternoon right now. So, guys, yes, I'm going to be doing a double upload again because we do have a lot of new updates now. And Tropical Storm Barry has formed, guys. So now it is official. It actually formed a lot earlier than expected. It was expected tomorrow. But, guys, before we do get to the video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 2,000. You guys are really helping out. And also, guys, I want to give a shout out to Insight Weather, guys. He is an amazing friend of mine. He does weather updates too. Be sure to check him out. He's trying to get to 1,500 subscribers. So, guys, yeah, I believe he's 13, so he's around my same age. So, guys, be sure to subscribe to Insight Weather, guys. Help him get to that goal. And me and him are going to be collabing now. We're going to be start to collab a lot more often now. We're trying to become like all best friend weather dudes. So be sure to subscribe. But guys, we are going to be now focusing on Tropical Storm Barry. We have a lot of new updates. I know I just posted 2 hours ago, but the thing is with tropical storms and hurricanes and all the tropics, it does upload every hour and every minute, so it gets a lot more interesting as we go on in the day. So guys, if you guys want to know all the new tracks, the cone and the timing, and if you can be affected by the storm, be sure to watch this video. Stay tuned, guys. Alright, guys, so as you can tell, we're going to be looking at the National Weather Service. We're not going to be really doing anything different. We're going to be looking at the same models, the same tabs, the same icons and everything, because this is what we really will be focusing. I don't want to keep on changing every tabs as we get closer, because then you guys are going to be all confused. So, guys, as you can tell, we do now have something new. We do have now a tropical storm warning. Oops, that was really bad. I know it looks like the color. I know it looks like the similar color of a flash flood warning. At first, I thought of that, but it makes no sense there in the middle of the ocean. But it's a tropical storm warning. So we do have it for some very counties, like on the coastal areas. I know it's really hard to see. We also have one down there in south central part of Louisiana. I know it's really hard to see it, but it's in some counties there. And then we also still have the hurricane watch in effect for those two southwestern counties of Louisiana, those areas that can get the worst of it there. I would not be surprised if we have some hurricane watches spread into the New Orleans area, because that's where it's looking like the eye is gonna be, as every day and every hour it looks like the models shift to the east now. And then we do have storm surge watches now in effect for now parts of the Gulfport area and these areas for now Mississippi. I did say that I would not be surprised if we have now some more for Mississippi, some more action there. So now for the coastal areas of Louisiana, Mississippi. Won't be surprised if it might get into the most western part of the panhandle there, because they can also get affected too. Really up to 3 to 4 feet storm surge there. And then we do have flash flood watches there in the green. So for those areas that could expect to see a lot of rain very fast. And then we do have a tropical storm watch in the area next to New Orleans. So guys, as you can tell, it's really busy in this one little area due for Barry, guys. And we have a lot of more action coming in for tomorrow for the new updates. Alright, guys, now we're going to be looking at the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We always look at this now. So again, we do have a system right here, Invest 93L. But we're going to be taking a look at Barry now. So you can tell it's Tropical Storm Barry, a very big deal now. Now the Atlantic's starting to get a lot of energy now. So instead of the Pacific, now we're going to be focusing a lot on Barry and in the Atlantic. As you can tell, the maximum winds are 40 miles per hour just on these tropical storm winds there. It's starting to get a lot stronger now. And it's still not based on the millibars, not getting that kind of strong, not getting that type of organized. I just mean by wind wise, by gust wise too. Also, it is still moving at 5 miles per hour winds, so that is that's why we do see this increasement of winds and the decreasement in millibars, which is making it stronger. So we are seeing this pattern here of it being very slow. So as it is going to be moving very slow through the Gulf of Mexico in the warm waters, it's upper 80s. That's like the best way to get a hurricane there. But the only thing is, it's not going to be really in the deep part of the Gulf of Mexico. It's not going to be there for a long time, like we saw with Michael or anything. So that's why it could just reach to a strong Category 1. So as you can tell, here it is. If you guys can't tell, I know it's really hard to see. This is the southern area of Louisiana. Let me just scooch up a little bit for you guys can actually see for it. So there's Louisiana right there. As you can tell, we still have some vorticity right here. Let me circle it. We do have some vorticity in these areas right here we're actually starting to get a lot more vorticity now, these outer bands. As you can tell, we have multiple bands here with clouds going in these small little islands out here for Louisiana. So if you guys live anywhere right here in these just south of New Orleans, guys, you guys are experiencing some cloudy weather now, maybe some drizzle. So if you guys see if the similarity in that weather, that means you guys are getting very close to Barry. And as you can, let me scooch down a little bit more. So as you can tell, the center of it's more right here. It's more to the north of the storm here, because here we do have very unorganized weather here. We do have some scatter bands here, and we actually do have a little bit of vorticity right here too. You can kind of see it. We don't really have the circular rotation now. We don't have a lot of vorticity right now. We don't have the rotation, which is vorticity too. But we do have the winds, which is helping it get to Tropical Storm Barry, and we should get it. We should see get it a lot more organized by the end of tonight, guys. It should really have that circular rotation. And guys, if it really needs one, I might do a triple upload today, maybe up to maybe 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. only if it's needed. As you can tell, not really organized right now, but there's Barry. Now we're gonna be looking at the cone and the timing. We've been looking at this a lot. We do see a lot of new colors here. We're going to be just looking at the colors right now first. I can tell the X is where it was this morning at 10 a.m. And there it has that highlighted orange color, which is for tropical storm current wind. And then we do in the yellow, if for like the Mississippi area, for the New Orleans area, that's where we do have the tropical storm watches too. And then we also have those storm surge watches in effect for the Mississippi area too. In those same areas, they do have two things, tropical storm watches and storm surge watches. And then we do have in the kind of pinkish, very light pink color, it is actually it's also under the blue too. So if you guys are in the blue, you guys have both hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings. So yes, we do have tropical storm warnings. We did see that looks like the flash flood colors. So it's very, very close to actually New Orleans. New Orleans is Bay Area, but it could actually get there. I would not be surprised if a tropical storm or actually hurricane watches do reach the New Orleans area. But again, does reach all the way, does not reach into the Texas area yet, because it's looking like it's shifting east every time we check. So there's no point of putting it more to the west. And as you can tell, it looks like it's going to be tropical storm all the way till later the afternoon of Friday. And then by 7 a.m. Saturday is the day it becomes Hurricane Barry based on this. And then it looks like we're just going to follow the center. Here, let me do it in a different color. It looks like this, based on this, the center of the storm looks like it does go like this. So again, it does take that big turn to the northeast, like expected with these storms that always do turn to the northeast, except if they go to Texas, obviously. And then it does become depressed and very fast on Sunday. So it's not going to be a hurricane that long. It's going to go maybe just for a couple hours and then turns back to tropical storm. And then the remnants, by this point, I guess, are the remnant of Barry by 7 a.m. Tuesday, so it's going to be quite fast, but it's going to be very slow moving. And we do have this widespread area for possibly in the cone, hundreds of miles all the way from like the Illinois and Missouri border all the way to some areas in the Appalachian Mountains, but very close. It's not exactly in the Appalachian Mountains, but it's quite a big area to look at. Now we're going to be looking at the tropical, it's actually saying tropical depression, but tropical storm, Barry, obviously. Just the name just needs to update, but the models did update. So as you can tell, we do have this this cone area where all the majority of the models are going. As we can tell, it's the areas we really need to watch out for possibly a state of emergency is Louisiana and Mississippi. That's where we have the majority of the models. As you can tell, 100% or 95% of the chance of the models are showing going into the little, I don't want to say maybe in the panhandle of this Louisiana area near the New Orleans area, and also possibly even into the small little islands right here. Some models are showing, actually a lot of the models are showing it going there too. And we also need to watch out for, as it does go to the northeast turn, it does extend a bit more to the west as it does that turn. It could possibly affect parts of the Mississippi River and also possibly affect Arkansas. And the other half of the models do show it going through Mississippi, the Tupelo area, and possibly, and then all the models do show it ending up either way into this Kentucky area and Ohio Valley area. So this is what we just need to watch out for. Now I'll be looking at the intensity guidance. This has not changed a lot, really. The intensity guidance doesn't really change whole lot, like the tracks or the winds or the National Weather Service. This one does take a little bit. But as you can tell, it does get to tropical storm it's already at tropical storm, as you can tell. I just realized that. Sorry guys, that was a big mistake. As you can tell, it's right here in the tropical storm here at 40 miles per hour here. This is actually 40 knots. This is knots, so it's right here on its border right here. As you can tell, all the models do show it at some point getting to a very strong tropical storm. As you can tell, 60 knots there to possibly very weak to moderate category 1. I will not be surprised, guys. I will not be surprised if tomorrow it does show to get a major category 1. And then maybe it's really hard to see because some of the models do go like right on each other. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 5 models do show getting to category 1, which isn't a huge deal, but again, it's still a good amount of models. And then by either 72 hours to all the way to 96 hours to where we do expect it to weaken back to the remnants of Barry. Now we're going to be looking at the winds. Alright, thank God it did not restart this whole thing because sometimes it does that. In the next 36 hours, we do expect to have it getting up to 39 knots there. As you can see, the eyes right here. So that's a kind of a hint of showing it at this point very close or to a category 1. As you can tell, we do have the eye wall there. And then we have these outer bands starting to affect some areas of the some areas in the coastal areas of Mississippi and Louisiana. That's why we do have these storm surge watches because they can get a lot of rain and a lot of wind before some areas. And then later on, the next 60 hours, we do reach up to 55 knots, really starting to affect these little islands off here, Louisiana. And by the next 3 days, we do actually expect to have it weaken a lot. But we do still have maybe also possibly 34 knots still for some areas in Louisiana, and then it should go away. But we really need to focus on the H50 HPA wind. I kind of do agree with this, but I do think this is just overstepping a little bit. I really don't think it's going to get to a major category 1. I would just say maybe a moderate category 1 possibly. But it's looking like more of a weak category 1, but you never know. I kind of agree with this, but I really don't agree with the size of it. At this point, it's showing already 44 knots there, 24 hours. That's crazy. I do not agree with the size at this point. Like, it's looking like so much bigger. It's kind of the size of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi in the length and the width. But I do agree with how the winds do get a bit stronger as it goes inland, or right before it goes inland, unlike the 10-meter one. And go the next 3 days, it does make landfall up to 90 knots. I do not believe it's going to be that strong, guys. That's really getting very close to category 2 there. It's going to be really going to be affecting these areas in Mississippi and the Jackson area. And then possibly the bullseye could be the maybe eastern or central part of Louisiana. That we still need to watch out for, but we do know a general area. And then we could have some winds in my area by the 17th of July. I could maybe expect 38 knots, guys, which is actually pretty crazy here, especially for Georgia. That's like saying what tropical storm Irma did over here a couple years ago, and then it could bring in some wind issues out there for the mid-Atlantic areas. Now we're quickly look at vorticity. We really do not need to look quick very fast. Like, we really don't have to really focus on vorticity right now, because the vorticity is the one that really does not change a whole lot. But as you can tell by the next 3 days, we do see it go again these same exact areas as yesterday for the south central part of Louisiana, and then go straight through the Mississippi River areas in Memphis there, goes through some little areas in Jefferson City there, and possibly affect some areas in the Ohio River. So it could affect 2 rivers, or 2 big rivers. It could obviously affect more than 2 rivers. And then, as you can tell, now we're going to be looking at the radar. As you can tell, this one, the GFS right now, does show at 1,004 millibars. I know 1,500, 1,004 isn't a big deal, but based on this, it kind of is, because we really need to know, because 1 millibar can actually do, I know it sounds really weird, but 1 millibar can actually do quite a big difference. We need to know. As you can tell, it gets a lot stronger now. 988 millibars. That is quite extreme. We do have extremely heavy rain out here for some areas in Louisiana, and it could start to weaken again as we go inland. 992 millibars, still going to affect New Orleans. Looks like New Orleans could be in the bullseye, but again, we still have those spaghetti models going all over the place. Then it could go into southern part of Mississippi affecting the Gulfport area, and then possibly now we're not going to see that big blob for Georgia and Alabama now, but because see it bringing some possibly flooding issues in the southeast of the days following after this. Then we're quickly going to be looking at the rain totals. I'm going to be coloring the cone here because we can kind of see where the cone, I kind of like the precipitation. I kind of like looking at the precipitation because it really helps you have a cone area. When the spaghetti models aren't agreeing, you can kind of draw an area of where it can go. So this is where I think, based on the precipitation, where we see more rain than others. I can tell the maximum is still the same. This precipitation has not changed. It does not change until later tonight. But I still want to show this for people who did not see my first upload today. So we are going to have these storm surge problems out here for the northern panhandle of Louisiana, and then for the southern part of Mississippi for the Jackson area, and then we can have actually maybe up to 6.5 to 8 inches for the Tupelo area, and then we could have a good amount of rain for the Memphis area, maybe up to 6 or 5.5 inches there, and then we can have some flooding issues for Kentucky, and then we could have a good amount of rain for some areas in eastern Texas, and then it can even bring up to 5 inches for the mid-Atlantic. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and also share this channel, guys, for those people who you either know that could be in the path. Even if they live in the mid-Atlantic, guys, go ahead and share this video because they might want to prepare for having a lot of rain. So if they want to maybe do the yard a week after this, because you know the flowers won't really like all this rain. But also, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I have a goal of 2,000, but the milestone is 10,000. I know that's going to take quite a long time. See you guys in the next video, and bye.